What up? What up? What up? What's going on, everybody? We're gonna do our quick Sunday market overview for the week for 214 through 218. So first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a break. A quick breakdown, look at the fundamental aspect of things that we have coming out this week. Particularly, I'm gonna be looking at USD and particularly British pound news. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So firstly, if we take a look at Monday, all right, we see we don't have too much news going on for Monday. We see we got some mortgage delinquencies, yellow folder. We also have a red USD folder, which is just the FOMC member speaking. So with that, it's not too much that we'll kind of be looking forward to on Monday as far as it comes to news. So let's take a look at Tuesday. So Tuesday, we're seeing some yellow folders with the British pound, a couple orange folders with the euro. So we have our producer price index. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. Producer price index. And what this is it measures the change in the price of finished goods and services sold by producers, right? So they do this measuring once a month. So when it comes to the US dollar, if this number is actually greater than 0.5, that'll actually be better for USD, potentially causing DXY to go up. So that'll be something we'll be looking forward to on Tuesday. Let's see. We also have core PPI, right? So, which is the same thing. The only difference in the PPI and the core PPI is core PPI excludes food and energy because of the volatility. So it helps get a more accurate reading of the producer price index number percentage as a whole, right? We also got the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which is just a news release on a survey given to manufacturers to see like what is their business, general business conditions like what's their employment, how's their growth, how's their product shipping coming, imports good, exports good. Just a little survey making sure everything is good. I don't really pay too much attention to that Empire State Index, especially when you have a more heavily impacting news release like PPI coming out. We also have for Wednesday. Yeah, that's all for Tuesday. We'll be looking at Wednesday. We're going to start the day with British pound with a CPI year over year reading. So consumer price index, just giving us overall economic outlook on how inflation is hitting that market space, right? So bullish on this would be good for the currency. So I'll be doing a little more research on how I believe this will come out. So I have to do a little more news looking, a couple articles, things like that. But I do believe that this is still going to come out to be bullish if we're looking at previous history, right? So we see bullish. It's always above forecasted. So I'm going to continue to go with that mindset unless I come across something that is I feel like impacting. Wednesday, we also have some CPI for Canadian dollar, not too strong on that. Also, we have USD core retail sales, right? So core retail sales is the total change in value on a retail level, right? So this is pretty much an index measuring how much are people spending, right? Are people going to stores? Are people shopping online, or are people saving their buck, right? So you have that, and then that's the core, and then you have the ultimate retail. So core excludes the automobile industry because of its volatility, just like the PPI excludes the food and energy because of its volatility. So the retail sales is the same thing as the core retail sales. It just includes the auto industry. All right. So import prices, yellow folder, not going to pay too much attention to that. We also have another orange folder for USD industrial production, right? So this is going to be our inflation kind of gauge, right? It measures the change in output of manufacturers, mines, and utilities, right? So gives us somewhat of a outlook and perspective into how our economic strongholds producing, right? How are our manufacturers producing, our mines producing, utilities like gas, energy, water, how are those industries doing overall. Um, so we'll be looking at some report coming out on that at 8:15. Pretty sure right around, actually, let me change this, make sure this time is right. So I can make sure that, where are we on Wednesday? So if we're talking about Wednesday, where are we at? We're at Wednesday. CPI, industrial production, right? So crude oil inventories, if we're looking at that. Oh, here. So 8:15. So we see this is going to be, this news release is coming out right before the New York Stock Exchange opens at 8:30. So that'll be interesting to see how that has an impact on the way markets open up this week. We also have 9:30 crude oil inventories, right? So this is a measure of how many barrels of crude oil are in inventory. So typically, less than forecasted is good, right? So you don't want to have anything sitting, any oil sitting. So any negative is always going to be good for the currency, also good for U.S. oil. So could possibly see a spike in U.S. oil to the upside and or downside, depending on how this information comes out. But judging off numbers and just things like that, I do believe that we will either have a very low inventory or a negative inventory, potentially causing U.S. oil to go up in price and value. Thursday, let's take a look. We also see we have unemployment claims here. Just gauge on how many people have filed for unemployment within the last I think it was 30 days between the previous month, the number of individuals filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. Okay, so this is going to be the people who have filed for unemployment insurance for the first time in the past week. So take a look at that. We see these numbers have been pretty consistent, either on point or a little low. We had some above average here. So just be kind of taking that one as it comes. The rest of this G2, G20 meetings, and we got some FOMC members speaking. That would be interesting. I definitely want to, be able to see what they have to say. Friday, we're going to end the week when it comes to fundamentals on existing home sales, which is the amount of annualized homes sold within the previous month, right? Excluding the ones that are new construction. So we'll be seeing how many homes are being sold, what the retail market is looking like for the US dollar, as well as we have some more FOMC members speaking, Waller, Williams, and I don't think we have any hot shots speaking. So that's going to do it for us when it comes to the week of fundamentals. Now we're going to go ahead, take a look at our technicals, take a look at the charts. So I'm just going to break down. I'm going to do 4 charts today: DXY, BXY, GU, GJ, and I'll touch a little bit over Bitcoin, just a tad bit. See, Bitcoin is giving us a little bit of a drop here below this level. Okay, so when it comes to DXY, right? So we see, if we just take a look at no candles, week, boom. Let's take a look at our weekly candle, right? So we see our weekly candle close bullish, almost kind of giving us a retest, a 50% retest of this bearish engulfing, right? So with two things with this, one thing we could possibly see is a retest 50% of this bearish engulfing before rolling back over to the downside, which could also give us a potential head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, quick right shoulder for the follow through. When it comes to the lower time frames, that's in the daily. Let's take a look at things. So we see prices kind of been stagnant above around this 9700 level, right? We see last week price came down. Didn't really gain too much momentum to the upside, but it had some fairly bullish momentum. So if we just bring back our drawings here, right? So we take a look, we see price has been moving in this downwards channel. Last week we started price, what was it, the 7th? So we started price here, right towards the bottom of this this bearish channel. We'll take a look at our 4-hour, right? So we see start the week kind of towards the bottom right here in this zone right here, right? So we call support at our 95400 level. Price then this wick right here was actually the consumer price index, the inflation rate increase day, right? So we saw price had a huge bullish run in momentum to the upside, rejected off of this. You could either say this 95900 zone and or this downward resistance line of this channel, rejected, price rejected, retested the bottom of support at the bottom of this channel line, right? And then we saw price continue to move bullish for the remainder of the week. One thing I want to talk about is we do see price did close on a very, very good bullish engulfing outside of our channel, right? So that's going to be something important we're going to be taking a look at for next week coming up. Got higher high, higher low. Even though it's small, another higher high, right? So we could see price produce a higher low here, possibly retest either 95900 or just do a small retest on the top of this overall resistance line. And then next area that I will be looking for price to go to is this 96400 zone, which we see has been a major resistance zone above this channel. We see price has really been testing strong within here, so I will love to see how price reacts. On a negative note, I would say if I do see, I am more so bullish on this, but the other side of this could be could see price kind of test this 95900, maybe a little lower, retest this as resistance again before, giving us overall bullish or bearish move, bearish move to the downside. So that'll be something important to look at for this week, especially considering the news reports that we have coming out. So if we look at BXY, let's take a look at here, the weekly, remove our drawings here. So we see the weekly candle did close bullish. We did see a lot of bullish intent to the upside, but it really failed to close near its high. So we see price was really rejecting this bullish outlook a little bit. So we bring back our technicals, right? Let's just head over to our 4-hour. It'll be a little bit easier. So we see price with this. Price started around this level here, right around our 13520 level. Monday, we saw price, kind of give a stagnant movement for about 2 days. And then we saw this increase the same day as the CPI news, right? So we saw BXY, open up that morning very very high above the previous close that it closed the day before, right? With this, we did see or opened here. We saw a bearish push down during that initial news rush before we saw that overall bullish push to the upside, kind of getting a rejection around this 13650 zone, right? Once we got this rejection, we started to see price kind of move to the downside, getting a lower high. But ultimately, we are still trading within this 13650 zone and this 135.20 zone. So my two outlooks are kind of with price. I want to see ultimately where price is going to open up, but I am fairly indecisive on when it comes to the British pound. So I'm going to wait to see what kind of momentum we get. My two kind of outlooks I could see is price can potentially opening up with a gap to the downside, potentially near this 13520 zone right here, and we could either see a run to the upside, probably getting a potential rejection of this 13590 level or 13650 level for potential to try to retest this 137 level, or we could potentially see price, start to dip below this 13520 level, retest our trend line as resistance again before forming overall bearish, testing this 133.50 level, right? Just taking a look at it, we see we're still been right in this level here, not really giving us too much momentum here, so kind of something to take a look at. GU, right? So GU ended the week very interesting. So we see last week for GU when it comes, we had sort of a spinning top type of week, right? So we had some bullish intent to the upside, also some bearish intent, but we see our real body of this candle didn't really have a lot of action, right? So we see this is a fairly small candle in regards to previous weeks. So we see momentum, volatility here. It was kind of very lax, right? So if we bring back our technicals, take a look at our daily here. Let's see where price opened up. So price opened up at this candle here. We see, if you just take a look at the daily, right, you see doji. We had these very indecisive candles, not really giving us any momentum. So one side or the other, and then before we had our kind of a spike here, and the price closed out pretty much on a doji candle, right? Not really giving us any indecision, or not really giving us a general direction of consensus when it comes to price. So if we look at GU on the 4-hour chart, right? Like previously that we see price did open up initially last week around this 1.35 support zone. We saw price kind of consolidate within the zone for quite some time, I think until about Tuesday. Saw a little push to the upside before getting a rejection near our last previous rejection, which is 135. I'll say 775 or 776, right? So we saw a rejection at this level. Price tried to come back down, test support. It didn't really test support, but it did find a support zone around this 135.992 level, right? So we see price did find a minor level support, giving us a bullish engulfing to the upside before, kind of having a 50% retest of this bullish engulfing with this bearish candle, and then another strong push to the upside, giving us almost a test of this 1.36500 level here. Which has acted as previous resistance in the past few weeks. So with that, right, so we see this bearish engulfing, and after that we see this this bullish engulfing, and after we see this bearish cancellation, right, so we see this bearish candle pretty much almost completely cancels out this bullish engulfing in a sense. We see our negative, our bearish momentum back to the downside, finding support around this same 135.920.922 area before giving us another push to the upside before reaching a resistance level of 1.3600 and price rolling back to the downside. So in terms, this is what I will say is a peak consolidation market, right? So we see price has not created any higher highs or any higher lows once it created this last movement in price, right? So we see prices pretty much been stagnant for about 2 weeks of trading. We see price has been very stagnant, not really giving us too many swings in price, which I would say what makes this one a little bit more complicated. I would say I want to see more clearish intent, so I'm going to be kind of waiting on my hands. I'm going to kind of be waiting to see if we can get a drop, right? So I do believe that DXY, my first consensus is that I believe DXY is going to be fairly bullish this week. With that bullish intent, I am expecting GU to show some bearish momentum. So with that, I am going to be looking more so at the bearish consensus of this. So what that means for me is I kind of want to see price come down a little bit, either retest, come down, test 133.592 as a resistance, and then break. I want to see a break through this 135.100 level, possibly testing this 1.34600 level, or I would like to see price either come up, showing bearish intent or bullish intent at the beginning of the week, giving us a test of this either 1.36500 level or of our resistance trend line, and then either getting a break above or seeing a rejection of this area in price. So that's kind of two things I'm looking at there. I'm gonna really be waiting. Trading is a lot of times waiting, sitting on your hands. I'm really gonna be sitting on GU. I'm not really too eager to just hop in a trade. Just with how price momentum has been trading with GU recently. So let's take a GY, right? Or not GY, GJ. So when we're looking at GJ, right, let's take a look at our weekly, take away our fundamentals. We see the week also close bullish, but giving us kind of a spinning top, kind of similar to GU. Excuse me. So kind of similar to GU, right? So we've been seeing price Showed us a little intent to bullish. Failed to really close near those highs. We see this has have been a strong rejection level here on the weekly, around this 15800 level, right? So we see there's been a strong level of resistance. So let's take a look at a daily, bringing back our technicals, everything like that. So price opened. So price did open up in our 155 major resistance area for the start of last week. Let's break this out to the 4-hour, right? So we see price opened up right in our zone, right? I think initially I was saying to begin the week, I was saying I do possibly see a further rejection down. As we see, I think I changed that consensus once we got a break above this level. But we see price showed a strong bullish intent throughout the entire week until Friday it was, I believe. So we're just taking a look, right? We see price gave us very strong bullish movement up to our 1500 resistance level where we saw a bearish engulfing rejection. Price came down, consolidated for a few hours, about 8-12 hours, before we saw price find this level of support, which is also, makes sense because we have this level, right? So higher high, higher low, price comes up, creates a higher high, retests this previous higher high as support, boom, retest this level, we have further upside movement, right? So it makes perfect sense. Let's see, so we break it down, saw these strong bullish candles, boom, then we got a rejection of our 158 level here, right? Overall resistance, and we get that from our previous resistance zone over here, which was formulated on October 20th, around October 20th, 2021. So we see we got a rejection of this zone before we saw price come down, catch support at 157 and, retest 157,500 before giving us a huge bearish engulf into the downside. So with that, once again, we are seeing a strong level of resistance at this 15800 level, right? So we're seeing price is wanting to test it. It's tried to test this level several times, but so far failed to break above this level. So with that, kind of just going to be looking for to see how price is going to move. Let's see how price closed on hourly. Okay, so we see price did come back to this 156 level and print us a morning star pattern, right? So we have a huge bearish candle followed by a spinning topper doji, and then we have this bullish candle right here. You know what I'm saying? We see as a cancellation of price. So with that, we could possibly see, especially with the Japanese yen being so weak in value, we could see another scenario like this, potentially. And either when it comes to this area, we could see consolidation, before break up, or we could see another major rejection to the downside, right? As it stands right now, I'm gonna keep the overall bullish consensus when it comes to GJ. Just because we see like 4-hour daily, GJ has been giving us very, very strong bullish intent. And right now it looks like price is at a level where it wants to continue to push higher. So I'm not gonna try to rebuke that. I am acknowledging this huge bearish engulfing, right? So it is quite possible that we could see a 50% retest of this bearish engulfing. Let's see here. So one second. Let's see if we just do the whole size of this candle, right? So it is quite possible that we see right at this 156,800 level, right? So we could potentially see price just come up, test this level, right? Or use this as a level of resistance before having some overall rollover downside momentum to the downside, right? Creating lower lows and lower highs, things like that. Possibly giving us a retest of this 155 level, but we see this level here as acting as a very strong support zone. Excuse me. We see this level as acting as a very strong support zone. So, I'm going to be keeping that consistency of a bullish intent. When it comes to, let's just take a look at Bitcoin, right? Cryptos. Everyone wants to know about them cryptos. Um, so we see when it comes to DXY, or not DXY, Bitcoin price has definitely been very bearish. Did start to see some bullish intent over the last couple of weeks. We see this week candle is about to actually close fairly bearish. We see we did have some bullish intent to the upside, but price did fail to capture that and seize that moment. So let's just take a look at our fundamentals here, breaking it down. We see lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Lower high at our previous lower high point, right? So we do acknowledge that price did, come up and try to retest this area. Area of, let's see, what zone is this? Area of 44,000, right? So we see price did try to really retest this 44,000. One thing that I'm kind of looking at right here when it comes to this is what I'm seeing here, and I'll grab the pattern for you, see if we can make this more clear. I can find it. Let's see. Here it is. So if we look at price, right, we're seeing almost sort of an inverted head and shoulder, right? We got the left shoulder here, head, right shoulder, retest here, overall bullish intent, right? So you see that looks really good. Left shoulder, boom, head. We can see price come down to this level here around, get rid of this now. I want to see price potentially come down to this 41,300 area, right within this area here, this area of price. I'll say I'll definitely be strongly let's make it gray and yellow, right? Just to highlight. So I definitely want to see how price reacts to this level here. If we do see a rejection, further upside movement. If we do see price either reject from 40K or reject from right above 40K at this level here, the next price target I'm really going to be looking forward to seeing price test going to be 51K. So it's about a 10 to 11K increase in price. I do possibly see we may come across some hesitation around this 48 level here. So I do see possibly catching some resistance here. So look something like probably potentially like this, right? That's what I'm hoping for, just given this. If I do start to see price just fail to close above this level, then I'll be either looking for price to potentially catch support in this general area here, this general area of price here, or just continue to roll over to the downside, retesting 30K again or not again, but retesting 30K again within a year. Yeah. So it tests in July. So I will be looking for a price to potentially test that, but also we could see price kind of catching support around this 35K area here. So similar Bitcoin, all cryptos similar, really just follow Bitcoin. So similar to Bitcoin, we see Ethereum is also playing out to this potential head and shoulders pattern with just a lower right shoulder, right? So we see left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We also see price is currently in a support zone of 2,800. So we could see price, catch support in this zone, give us a bullish momentum to 4K. The levels of resistance I would really be looking forward to seeing price react to is 3,200, 3,400, and 3,800, right? So those would be my three levels that I could expect potential rejection or potential higher low formations to be caused at. Other than that, though, I'm gonna kind of stick to my bullish consensus of this inverted head and shoulders unless I start to see a close above these a close below these support zones here. As it stands right now, I am kind of confident in these support zones. But we're never marrying a bias. Anything can happen. We're always keeping that in mind. So with that first thought, we're just going to be overall looking to see how price is reacting to these zones and how price will continue to move throughout the week. And with that, that is all that we're going to talk about this week. So if you guys have any pairs or anything like that you want to see broken down, So always feel free to give me a holler. And that is our weekly overview for this week. So I'll get this uploaded as soon as it's done posting, and you all have yourself a fabulous day, and let's have a great week in the markets.